Akademiks can't ride the wave.
I think safely now get into some of this Cardi and Nicki stuff. A scathing, and we don't know how much of this we could actually play, but the Breakfast Club actually, and it's kind of interesting with Nicki, right? So Nicki goes off. Her fans, which, I've thought most of her fans are like, in their 30s or approaching 30s, whatever age they are. Maybe they're some of them, or she has new fans that are teenagers or whatever, but they never seem to ever check her and be like, yo, you're wildin'. They kind of just agree with everything, and it's like groupthink. It's like a large groupthink operation. So essentially, not only did she talk about the kids, or not only the kid, but I should say kids plural, because she mentioned and alluded to multiple of Cardi B's kids. She talked about a whole bunch of other people too. Now, for some of those people, I kind of look the other way because she talks about Rock Nation. I'm like, she might got a point. But then she talked about Charlemagne. She talked about pretty much everybody, Harvey Levin. She was not going to let any of that go. Here are some of the tweets that I saw from yesterday. Actually, I think I have them memorialized. Let's go back to some of these tweets. Here we go. Santana, go back to your pig pen. You said Blue, Ivy, Nappy, and North look better than her. Didn't you eat slop, pig? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Offset told P, you ugly. P is the boss of QC. Ironic. Remember all the real ones when all the real ones was at when we go up. Video shoot, she was outside bodega, Barney with no one caring. I don't know what that means. Harvey, show your grades. You a weak ass hoe. Quavo, was it worth it? Dummy. No career. Take off, gone. That's where it's there's a way to read this where it feels disrespectful, like you're almost disrespecting even Take, right? Remember you told me you were the Beyonce of the group. I laughed so hard inside. Anyway, pay Offset his alimony. Barney B. Remember when Oprah stated her disdain about black people saying nigga, then she endorsed a non-black saying nigga on the album? They were mad I turned down doing Oprah's show because I wanted to wait until after my album so that I didn't have to keep talking about Mariah. Wow. I don't think she was done. This was her theory about Rock Nation, which might have a little bit of weight. I know she's kind of going crazy, but this one says, Barbs, the reason they did all that to my husband is because he snatched the phone from Tubby and Webb and, well, y'all know Zoo. If I release that call, it's lights out. They believe that, but for my husband, I would have done that tour and album with Barney B. So we never knew this, but apparently there was discussion that there should be a tour with Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. And I don't know. Clearly, this was probably after their feud, but I guess people were wondering, hey, this could be super lucrative if you make bygones be bygones. Would you guys do a tour and album together? And Nicki Minaj said no, right? So she says, so they cursed themselves for life. TMZ says, hey, Nicki, you want to get on if you're available? We would love to have you on TMZ Live. She says, eat shit. You in the paperwork. You know what you did. Come eat my ass. I'm on my period. Then she says, Barbs, them albums better be moving up before I start cussing y'all out too. Wow, she might even turn on the fans. She says, Billboard, you're fried. Then she says, Charlemagne, did you put that bleaching cream on your dick too, nigga? President Trump, lock them all up. Imagine if you'd call yourself Shrump the God. Oh, bitch. Lock up Boren, Lauren, and Jess with the testicles too. They're very nasty people. Queens, niggas, run these niggas. Thank you. Is this like a coded hit, or is she just saying Queen niggas run? I don't know. Then she says G Hoberson and Doodoo James, your time up too. She drops her album again. She dropped a couple pictures. Is that Cardi B? Or supposed to be a replica of Cardi B? Oh, that's Jay-Z. Jay-Z and the Camel. Barney, or Barney B. Harvey, your time is up. Dreadlock Rasta behind you, beside you too. Your time is up too. Very little albino dick. Then she says Kathy White. And she says, Dear Ramir, I'm so sorry that Camel framed you by putting things in your car, allegedly. I'm sorry he wanted you in prison the way he wants all his enemies. He's weak, ugly too. I guess when you have the money invested in the private prison system, whoop, I don't know. This is all alleged. Then she says, Camel and Rat, we're not fazed by botted tweets and bots in the comments. That's precisely why you broke now. Desiree got fillers since I said she ugly now. She uglier. Oh, bitch. Camel, let's talk about your kids today. And that's on the docket. Nigga, Shruffles papers. And she says, I'm going to kick your gums back into formation. Wow. Wow. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Nicki just won't stop. So let me play a little bit of what the Breakfast Club said. Probably can't play it the whole way. We know how the copyright stuff works. Breakfast Club. Okay, this is before they gave her Donkey Today. I think this is it. Right.
In the teas, we got listed on Nicki Minaj's lash list. She gave us some lashes. Her hit list. Mm-hmm. Yes. She says, Charlamagne, did you put that bleaching cream on your
penis?
Oh,
Michael. Did you?
You tell him, Envy. You tell him if I did or not, King.
Then she tags the President of the United States and says, lock them all up. Imagine if you called yourself Trump the God. Oh, then she does the B word.
Not MAGA Minaj.
Oh, gosh. Lock up Boring Lauren. She spelled my name wrong. And Jess with the testicles, too.
I'm glad she know I got balls and I drag them.
Okay.
So I'm glad she know.
Drop them.
Okay.
She said they're very nasty people. Queens in words run these in words. So Envy, you run us?
You
or like,
run
are you in
Envy?
cahoots?
Oh my God.
Because they know other lines. And then she says thank you. And then she drops the album date again, March 27, 2026.
We're not waiting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You run us?
Yes. I don't know. If you have balls and you're boring and you dye your penis,
you know.
Yo, stop it, man. People gonna be stop it.
You know.
I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
Now you don't know.
He'll shut up. Okay, continue on.
Miserable again.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. And she just proved my point even further. Miserable, whatever. It's laughable though.
I just hate the fact that you go at somebody's kids.
Yeah.
Like there has to be a line drawn, right? And because once you go to somebody's kids.
Chad, what do y'all think about that, right? So I was starting to think, I said, yo, listen, obviously I don't think it's cool, but I was equating it to when drill rappers say, I'm smoking on your dads, fuck your dead man. It feels like maybe tantamount to the same disrespect. And I've always just said, I can't tell somebody whether they should or shouldn't say it if they're down to die over it. I think once you start saying words like that, you're down to die over it. And usually we'll find out that most people who play along those lines ain't down to die over it. But if you're down to die over it, fuck it. So I don't necessarily give a damn what she's saying. But people did find objectionably that this was out of bounds that she was mentioning kids. What say you?
I don't know how you go back from there. And it's like what Cardi said. Once you talk about my kids, what else is there left for me to do when I see you? There's no high five. There's no, hey, let me talk to you in the bathroom. No, put your hands up.
Look, either way, where's Kenneth? Like, why you won't just grab your wife's phone? It's your wife. She's embarrassing her family. She's embarrassing you, embarrassing y'all as a unit. Like, why would you let her lock herself in the bathroom and go on this rant like this? Break down the door, do something, grab the phone. I could never have a husband that let me do this. Like, that let me do this days and days and days.
Well, Cardi says that the only person that does have power is Kenneth, but there's other things at play.
Where?
She says that there's other things at play, and that, Nicki Minaj, she alleges Nicki Minaj is under the influence of some things.
Where's her people? Like, where's Deb Anthony? Where's everybody that be helping her out? That she confides in. Where's our people? Where our therapists at? Like, where our people at?
I think that
yeah, she's from Baltimore. You can hear the accent, right?
getting called widehead? Because I don't think you have a widehead.
It's
Now,
dumb.
if they would have said you got eyes like Sid or Rashawn from Ice Age,
Oh my God,
or Jar Jar Binks, like if they would have said something about the eyes, I'd have been like, okay, but head, you don't have a widehead.
That is so messed up.
And you're not born.
You're not born.
You're not
Lauren.
born.
You're
Y'all
not
don't
born.
have. I appreciate
find
the
you very not born.
affirmations, but y'all don't got to do that. I wasn't checking to see if I was or if I wasn't. I know what I am and what I'm not.
Jess, you don't have testicles.
Oh no!
Dad, now we don't know that.
Listen,
You're right.
Look,
I don't
do.
think she do.
Listen, I drags them too. Like I go crazy with my nuts. Don't play with me. I drags them up and down everywhere. So I'm glad she know that Jess with the testicles is
Jess with the testicles.
Yeah, she know.
Inshallah, it's
He definitely bleached everything. He also gets his eyebrow.
I hear it's hurt.
Okay. So that's what they said yesterday. And
Nicki is an artist, but when I read
then they gave her Donkey of the Day. And this was this.
October 2nd goes to Anika. Donkey of the Day for Thursday, October 2nd goes to Anika Tanya Mirage Petty. Heavy on the petty. Now, yesterday, Nicki Minaj did what she does best lately, and that's go on an unhinged rant about everything and everybody, okay? If you missed it, I understand. There's more important things going on in the world, including but not limited to a government shutdown. And it started, at least on our end, because yesterday on Breakfast Club, we responded to Nicki's Tuesday unhinged rant about Cardi B. And this is what we said.
Nicki just seemed miserable. And like, I'm sorry. That's your gut punch right there.
I respect Nicki as an artist, but when I read her tweets, and she starts trying to label people good and evil, it really makes me think of Isaiah 5:20. Isaiah 5:20 says, woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Because if she believes that she comes off as a peaceful, loving, God-fearing human, she's bugging. Crazy. Like, you can literally feel the darkness from her tweets. And honestly, that's why you shouldn't even engage with her, because when you match that kind of energy, you come off looking dark too. I thought that was fair commentary, but Nicki Minaj thought otherwise. Now, Lauren LaRosa, LL Cool J, read what she tweeted about the Breakfast Club.
She said, Charlamagne, did you put that bleaching cream on your penis too?
Did you?
She then tagged the President of the United States and asked him to lock us all up. Imagine if you called yourself Trump the God. Oh, and then she called you the B word. Lock up Born Lauren and Jess with the testicles too. They're very nasty people. Queens N-words run these N-words. Thank you. Salute.
Not MAGA Minaj calling on Trump to get us locked up and using some of the language that Trump used against me when President Trump said, can anyone imagine the uproar there would be if I used that nickname? Come on, Nicki. Now, didn't she have a tweet about Democrats too? What was that tweet, Lauren?
Yeah, she said, Democrats, take them down. You're the all-powerful Democrats. Remember, they lost the election on purpose. Take them down. They're a curse. Take them down. I heard the Lord say, it is done. Okay, Lord, thank you. We give you the honor, the glory, and the praise, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, but, she's probably mad at Democrats because Kamala Harris had Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla perform for her at campaign events, and she...
Chat, I'm going to keep it a bean with you. We got to call a spade, man. Yo, Kanye, you got 24 hours to respond, man. You thought you was the craziest one this year. Nah, I don't think so, gang. You got 24 hours to respond, yay. You got 24 hours to respond. You thought you was slick talking about Nazis and shit like that? Well, she talking about kids. What you finna do, yay? You got 24 hours to respond to this rant. There could only be one top lunatic. And I think it might be Ye, respectfully. We love Ye. But you can't let her unhinge you out. That's a fact.
You had Cardi B speak for her at a campaign rally, so anyone who dares to uplift any other female rapper that's not Nicki Minaj is going to be on Nicki's hit list. Why? Well, Lil' Kim told us why here on The Breakfast Club 13 years ago. Let's listen.
She wanted to be the only female out there because she wanted to be out there by herself. I'm going to leave this on this note. You will see. Everything in the dark comes to the light. That's all I got to say.
Dropping the clues box for Lil' Kim. Kim, in typical Cancer fashion, you were right. My sincere apologies to Lil' Kim for ever questioning her OG wisdom. Nicki has had smoke for Kim, Cardi, Megan Thee Stallion, Lotto, Doja Cat, SZA, Remy Ma. The list goes on, and it's sad Because Nicki is goated. She's an icon living. She literally kicked down the doors for a whole new generation of female rappers. She was indeed the pink print for female MCs. I loved when she coined that term years ago. I'm not the blueprint. That's for the boys. I'm the pink print for the girls. But how does the pink print become the stink print? Yes, the stink print. Because as I said, your energy is just stank and nasty. You went from showing a generation how to be a female boss to showing a generation how to be a disgruntled artist. How does that happen? How do you go from inspiring a generation of young women to hating on a generation of young women? Well, that's what happens when a person is in pain. That's what happens when a person is hurting. That's what happens when a person has a bunch of unhealed trauma that they haven't dealt with. I saw something yesterday that I found extremely entertaining, okay? But then I was extremely disturbed. And it put everything in perspective for me. Okay, there was a headline on Baller Alert, and I can't even believe Baller Alert posted something so unserious. But I'm glad they did, okay, because it said that Nicki Minaj was sent proof of witchcraft attacks. And it accused the Breakfast Club of orchestrating them. Okay, the tweet said the Breakfast Club was the main platform partnered with Michael Kaiser of Atlantic Records, orchestrating a direct Nicki Minaj takedown campaign for years with See the Devil, all because Nicki wouldn't work with us. The other thing I was thinking about, when was Nicki blackballed? When did Nicki Minaj ever fall off? Nicki, do you understand that you are the bar for female rappers? Do you understand that you are a rap icon? When have you not sold records? When have your tours not been packed? See, you believe when you see other female rappers coming up around you that it somehow repositions you. Nicki Minaj, that is a level of internal insecurity that only you can deal with. You have to look in the mirror and quote Dr. Seuss. You have to say, today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. And don't put that in the rap, because it's going to sound like Safari wrote it. Now, you are her, Nicki, okay? And it's saddening all of us to see that you don't believe that you don't realize that. And the reason you don't realize that is because you are in pain. Nicki has had all these personal issues happen around her, and she's blaming the world for what she's feeling because of those issues. The industry has nothing to do with that, Nicki. None of the female rappers, not Atlantic Records, not the Breakfast Club, none of this has to do with the industry. You are refusing to come to terms with life, okay, and refusing to come to terms with human nature simply. Okay, when you refuse to come to terms with human nature, that simply means that you are dooming yourself to patterns beyond your control and the feelings of confusion and helplessness. And that's what I see in every tweet, confusion.
Man, why everybody be trying to give Nicki a scripture, man? Let Nicki crash out, man. Man, Nicki been doing this for like 2017, 2018. That's when I first remember her doing shit like this. Bro, why everybody trying to talk some sense into her? It's clear nobody can tell Nicki what to do. Now, the problem with people like Nicki and like Ye is that sometimes they have a central problem. Like, honestly. They'll have a central problem, and sometimes they'll have a point. Like, let's be honest. Do y'all listen to Kanye and think everything he says is nuts? No. Sometimes you're like, nah, this nigga Loki got a point, because sometimes over time things come to light that you'd be like, wait, maybe this motherfucker wasn't that crazy. And I do think that's the same thing with Nicki too. So I don't think everything she's saying is complete hogwash and that this thing is bullshit. No. I think a lot of what she's saying, not a lot, let's say certain things. I think some of those things are right. And by the way, we've seen over time certain things she said came true, like publicly, that we could all acknowledge that she was right. However, it becomes the broken clock theory over time, where it's like, yeah, maybe one or two things they're saying is right, but then they start just saying shit about everybody and everything, and it loses its luster a little bit. So, for me, I don't think when people are trying to talk her into some intervention or trying to convince otherwise that she gonna chill, you got to let this woman do what she gonna do. I do think her legacy, I don't even know what her legacy is, because here's the thing. She is like Kanye, where no matter what bullshit they do, they take some time off and they drop some good music, and then we forget and we just love them like how we always loved them. So that's the thing I've always just thought about when it comes to these things. It's not like these people are gonna change their behavior. So just let them do them. Just pay attention to them less if necessary.
A cry for help, projections of pain, a wounded ego, okay? Projections of hurt. And if your ego is hurt, you may become angry, okay? Ego itself is a disease. You have to dissolve your ego as far as possible. If you have inferiority complex or have a very deficient ego, you will lose your temper very easily. And that is what we are dealing with in regards to Nicki Minaj. And we should all truly hope that Nicki heals. I truly hope you heal, Nicki. I pray you find peace. I want you to go to therapy, church, the mosque, wherever you can go to heal because you are in pain. And listen, so many of us are. Okay, to some degree, we are all in pain, and it's a pain we don't discuss or even understand. And oftentimes, the source of this pain is other people. So you can get on the timeline and massively attack all the people you want. But at the end of the day, I know that it's just a hurt little girl living in that 42, soon to be 43-year-old body. And I want that young girl to get the healing she deserves because you told us, Nicki, starships were meant to fly. So why are you crashing out? Nicki, your trauma is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. And I truly, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, hope you heal.
Okay. Now, honestly, man, Nicki been going just crazy at everybody. So this happened, and Nicki then said, "Oh hell no," and she's been deleting tweets. So not too sure if she's deleting it because maybe she want to keep like a certain Twitter aesthetic, or maybe it's being reported. But let's read a few of them that came down in the last like week or two. Like she is going bananas, bro. So she got back on Charlemagne, and for that, she was trying to bring up some old stuff. She first showed the video of the "Can I Get a Drop" where someone swung on Charlemagne. She started bringing up some stuff about Jay-Z. She said, remember when Jay-Z said he left condoms in a child's car seat? Almost like trying to put like damn near an allegation on him, right? Brought up some stuff about Charlemagne with some old case that never really turned into anything. And then all while she's doing it, she says all of her albums are now charted in the top 30 on iTunes. So it's like while she's crashing out, she's telling her fans, go support my music, right? Let's read some more. Oh, and let's remind everyone how you should never call anyone a donkey. And they brought up some K stuff. They bring it up again. Yeah, she's just kind of like going at anybody. Guess who just got a call telling me I have to leave New York? Is this not suspicious? Well, we're not going anywhere. Dear Matt and Barry Klarberg. Who's that? Matt Klarberg. Who's that? A senior client advisor and managing director. Wow. She says, Dear black woman, I guarantee that hoe will never ever get on my net and discuss another black baby again. I guarantee you that hoe will never ever call black women roaches and monkeys again. Somebody had to do it. So it looked like she's kind of like changing the narrative like, hey, listen, I only disrespected this woman's kids to show her what it feels like for her to offend the black offspring of black people or to disrespect them in any type of way. Or call them by their names, right? But again, we were looking for those tweets yesterday. None of them actually call black people in general bitches or roaches. Says Jay-Z and Desiree Perez, it appears to me that you wanted album sales for your pawns, but you've gotten much more. You see now, you'll see soon. The seers see first. Desiree, I know it hurts that your daughter Demori hates you, which brings me to your other daughter. I heard she had a position at Kamala's campaign. I heard that she had a major position at Live Nation. Epiphany, Was she the one telling Live Nation not to promote my tour on the second leg? And what about the Live Nation rep who killed himself? Or so I heard. The last convo he and I had, I was asking him, why hasn't my tour been promoted in 3 months? I sent him proof, and he pretended to not understand what was going on, and even got a little bit testy with me. I couldn't understand why, after I just had done a completely sold out first leg, they say 30 days after my tour, he was gone. They say he was supposed to be working on an upcoming Kendrick tour with stadium tour. Why would he kill himself as it's such a great time in his life? So Nicki thinks that maybe these people got someone killed. Wow. Post up Cardi B. She says, you see, Desiree, when I told you to get Barnaby in order, I meant it. Now every time she speaks, it'll be your turn to be spoken on. The spells are broken, Desiree. Can't you see now? Remember all the warnings I gave you. Well, tweet some more stats, and here we are. Jesus Christ. Yo, Cardi B, man. Not Cardi B. I mean, Nicki. Me and you, we ain't friends, but recently we have aligned maybe on one issue that Roc Nation, their conglomerates, and their agenda, it's on some devilish-ish. That's cool. However, the behavior you got going on that is so unhinged, you got to chill, man. You got to chill, or somebody got to put you in a straitjacket. You got to chill. While having a problem with an entity that maybe most are unfamiliar with is kind of common because you don't want to keep people in your business, it appears that Nicki got a problem with everybody. Everybody. And I think that's the problem there. You get what I'm saying? All right. Well,